Yeah, once again, I welcome everyone to this session. So, Infusory, it was started as a campus startup way back in 2015 at Incubation Center of St. Joseph College of Engineering Technology, Pala, Kerala, by Mr. Thompson Tom. Later on, Mr. Shyam Pradeep Alil joined the venture, leading the expansion to Thrissur at TBI incubator of Government College of Engineering, Thrissur. Right. So the company started its operations by giving training and workshops to school and colleges across Kerala. So in 2016, March 12th, the company launched the first ever virtual reality app development workshop in Kerala. Starting from there, the company initiated many innovative workshops and training programs across India. So after legally forming Infusory Future Tech Labs Private Limited in 2018, Jan 15, they entered into AR and VR service industry by providing a virtual reality based training simulation system for Singapore Airlines. So in a short span, the company grew as pioneers in creating AR, VR, and 3D contents for various industries and events. So later on, actually, our resource person Adil Khan took the position as CTO, enabling Infusory to explore new possibilities in the world of AR and VR. So now the company is focused on immersive education through their product Tutor, mixed reality classroom. So and I think this session would be helpful for our EdTech team and even StarTech team and entire IUC team. Right. So as Infusory started as a TBI startup in Government College of Engineering, Thrissur, and now they are into this business. So we are like happy to have Adil here, and I welcome Adil and all others to this session. So over to you, Adil. So it's now you can take over.
Thank you for the introduction, Anup. So I also have Shyam with me here right now. So Shyam is the CEO of Infusory, and I'm the CTO of Infusory. So other than the introduction, I'll just add on to it. So I'll give you all an idea about what Infusory is about and what we believe in and what our vision is. So we started Infusory. As far as I'm concerned, I joined with these guys when I was in my first year of college. So at that time, Infusory was mostly focused on teaching and workshops and training and all over India. And we used to go around in every college and school and teach the latest in technology. And we were mostly focused on augmented reality and virtual reality. From the time it started, the first part started, we were early adopters. And our vision was to spread the knowledge and teach people about what this is and how relevant it is going to be 5 to 6 years down the line, like right now. And when we started off, we were basically a service company. We were doing service projects, and some of our projects included projects like we did a virtual reality simulation for Singapore airport. So that was like one of the first things that how useful virtual reality can be in the industry. And for Singapore airport, what we basically did was an application that can simulate the cleaning process of an aircraft for the cleaning staff at the Singapore Changi airport. So if you can see that saves a lot of cost. It reduces a lot of fatal accidents in the industry workplace, and people were able to get into the simulation and work on the real-time environment and learn the situation using virtual reality. And then later, as far as augmented reality is concerned, I hope most of you are aware about what virtual and augmented reality is. If not, you will soon understand it when we are showing our demo. So augmented reality, as far as is concerned, we worked with two major Malayalam movies. One is Lucifer of Mohanlal, and one is the movie Nine by Prithviraj. So we did the promotional application for both these movies. So we made an augmented reality application for them. So as you can see, we started off with service projects, making augmented reality and virtual reality and unlocking experiences for other people, other companies, other industries. And then later we felt the need, like we need something of our own. Like after we did a lot of training and a lot of service projects, we felt the need that we need to apply what we've learned in all these projects into our own product, our own baby. So that's when we started with the best thing that we know already, that is the learning, the education sector. So we have a lot of experience and we have a lot of connections and we know a lot of how it works. So we thought, why don't we make a product, that can influence the education sector. So why don't we make our first product straight into the education sector? And that's how Tutor was born. And Tutor, as the name suggests, it's a play on words, and it's a teaching aid basically. So to give a basic introduction, we implemented augmented reality, and especially in this time of Corona and COVID-19, where we are all increasingly getting all are working from home, learning from home, and this becomes very significant. So our basic idea was, how can we introduce augmented reality to make a substantial change in how the learning happens, like a classroom or an online classroom or a remote learning. So we wanted to implement whatever we know about augmented reality and create a platform. And we aim this into our target audience of teachers and faculty, those who want to teach, and how can we make the teaching experience better for them, and also how can we make the learning experience better for these students, especially now that they are sitting in front of a computer at home with no real-time contact and no way of getting that face-to-face interaction. So we had this idea mid of this year. After the beginning idea started off in the last year, but then we thought of making this into a platform, and we thought of making this into AR in this year 2020. And then when the COVID started, we thought this is the perfect time, to bring this into the industry and get more people, release it as a beta and get people working in it and get their feedback and see how we can make that difference. So we got the idea. We sat on it for 20 days, and I took care of all the development, and Sham took care of all the operations and the content, and Thompson took care of all the marketing, sales, and everything else. All the CEO things that he has to do. And me as a CTO, I had to take care of all the development, and it was just a three people team when we began. We didn't hire any developers. We just wanted the MVP out as soon as possible. So in 20 days, we were happily able to finish the MVP. We got a working product ready. We put in our own content, and we got it ready, and we pushed it to a certain school. And as a good for us, we got our first school in those 20 days. So one school took us in, and they were ready to implement this in their online classes. And that was Nirmalamada Public School in our own Thrissur, in our city. And we got a lot of feedback, and we learned a lot from their feedback, and we saw our own thing. It happened so fast, and we saw it working in the hands of teachers, and we saw how the students were interacting to it, how excited they were, especially the students who were now bored with all these classes, where they're all talking to each other. Can you hear me? Can you see? Can you understand? And in between, we are putting this graphics and content into the screen of the teacher, unlocking a whole new world for them to learn. And we were really excited about the first feedback that we got, and the understanding and how they like what we made. And this pushed us forward, and we started selling to more schools. And right now we are going to several schools in and around Kerala, and right now going beyond Kerala to the whole country. And what we basically did was, including the content that we provide. We provide content, not just simply taking any 3D content or 2D content and giving it to them. We made sure that we follow the syllabus. Whatever we are learning in school right now, from class KG to 12, whatever they're learning, we took it, we analyzed it, and we saw where can we introduce AR and teach, and we can make these classes exciting, and we can make a teaching aid that can make the lives of teachers easier. And we also added a feature where the teachers can add, the customers can add their own content. They can bring in their own content, they can bring in their own 3D and 2D content and teach. And with the ease of this click and play, and just share your screen in like Google Meet, for example, and take an online class. And in the future, after the COVID situation is over, and when we come back into classrooms, how can we implement that inside a classroom, in a live classroom, into boards, into the touchscreen boards and the smart classes? How can we implement AR there? And in the future, our vision is not just limited to this. When the glasses come, when the AR glasses come, when we are not bound by a mobile or a laptop, where each student in the class can wear this simple spectacles or a glass, and then they can see all this happening in front of the desk or just near the teacher. And then also in the future when students are in their home, they don't have access to the physics lab and the chemistry lab, where we can just bring in just wear the device or use the phone and bring in the physics lab or the chemistry lab or whatever the machinery lab is. They can bring into their living room or their bedroom, and they can have access to all these things that are very hard to get, and then learn by themselves. So this is our vision, to make a little bit of difference in the education system, step by step. So that's what the whole product is about.
Yeah, thank you, Adil, for that wonderful introduction. Truly inspiring. We can see from your passion, right? It's really great. So, if you can give us some demo. Before that, if I may ask from the audience, if you have any questions to ask, shall we take up some questions if they have?
Yes, surely, surely. If you have any questions, do ask.
Yeah, yeah. If any question is related to what he has discussed so far, you may please either type it in chat window, or else you can unmute and ask, or else if as of now nothing is there, maybe Adil, you can proceed. Go ahead with your discussion or demonstration.
Okay, so I'll just open up the app in my computer. So basically, our app runs on almost all platforms: Android, iOS, iPad, Windows, laptop. So it's basically where you can just click and play, and any device you can make it happen. So if your call is happening in your phone, or if your class is happening on your laptop, it's just not platform dependent. So I'll just open up the app right now and share my screen. Go. I hope you can all see our screen.
Yes, Adil, it's visible.
Okay, okay, okay. Okay, so I log in. So when we open up the app, what you can see is that we have sorted this in the order of classes or grades, and any curriculum. Right now we are on the procedure of filling up KG to class 12, but later on we are not bound by any classes, any topic, any branch or stream or engineering or anything, social science, math. So that is our vision. And right now in this short time we have been able to compile our own content from some content from KG to 12. So when we open, we have this menu, and this is all. You just need an internet connection, and it will connect to the internet and bring in whatever content we have pushed from here. It will update automatically. And here we have two buttons, where one button is for adding your own content. As I said, if you have any PNG images or in your gallery, you can just take it from your downloads folder and show it on the screen. If you are not, if you want more content than what we already give. And then we have the new content, which will update as and when we update new content. So right now we have added a few content in some classes, grade 10, grade 1, KG. So I'll start off with KG. So for kindergarten students, the topics are kind of basic, like what we teach them, and it has to be interesting, and this is their first step into learning. So if you take kindergarten, then we are sorted by subjects: alphabets, counting, animals, shapes, general knowledge, fruits and vegetables. So if I take animals, for example, we have divided it into two topics. So we can see a hierarchy here. We are divided by class, then subject, then topics, and then we can see the models. So if I take domestic animals, it will take some time to download all the models for us. So this will download all the domestic animals, all the 3D models and all the animations. So let's wait for some time, depending on the internet connection. Uh, Let me see. Okay, so it has loaded, and now we are in the final menu, and you can see that the app has opened into the final screen where I can see myself. So basically, this is where you start sharing your screen, and then you can go about teaching your classes by yourself, whatever you're teaching. And then for example, imagine this is a KG classroom and I want to teach about one of these animals. So I'm going to choose for example, I'm going to choose a cow, for example. So I click on cow, and then I can freely move it around, and I can place it in my screen. So the difference is that when we're usually taking a classroom in a video call or something, the teacher is separate and the content is separate, and there is no connection, and it doesn't feel like an interactive platform where the teacher can point out things, zoom into the content. And especially when we have platforms where people are making videos on their own, teachers, you can't expect them to make their own VFX content and create their own videos and put it. So this makes it easy. You can record it, you can add your own content. So this is for KG, so not much of labeling isn't needed. You're just giving them a basic introduction into animals. So we have an animated model of the cow, so we can rotate the models. So these are all 3D models that we have added. We can zoom into it, and we can switch between. If you have two cameras, you can add an external camera and show two camera views. You can flip the camera, and we can do all these things in the phone and in the laptop and the iPad. So this is KG. Let's go to a higher class now. So we can see how it will work in a little bit more higher standard. So let's go to class 12, for example, grade 12. So we have physics here. And in physics, we have some topics: motion in magnetic field, solenoid, toroid, magnetic elements of Earth. So if I take a solenoid, so it'll take some time to load, and we have a animated model on how the solenoid works. I'll zoom into the model. And when the teacher is teaching, most of the time, if it's a textbook or an image or a presentation, this feels much intuitive. You can show, you can pause between the animation, you can go to the next animation and show them like what is happening. You can rotate and show how these magnetic field lines look. For example, in this situation, how the solenoid is working, and you can take your class almost like you're making your own VFX video. You can edit your content, just record, and you can do live classes if you want, or you can record and show to them later. So this is solenoid. This is a class 12 physics topic. So showing the magnetic field lines or what the direction is. Another example would be the left hand rule, the right hand rule. So all of them, we have our own 3D content added in. But for example, we can also add our own content. We can come back. So we have an image here. It can be anything. You can add an image from your gallery. Just choose image from here and you can add it from your gallery. So this is where we are right now. And right now we are filling in every week. We are filling in models for each class. So we are close to 1,000 models, I think, by now. And we are aiming by the end of this month to complete the whole syllabus of 1 to 12 and then get into engineering and all those things. I hope you can see the possibility here. Something something coming out alive from the textbook, something coming alive from an image, just instead of showing, and then the teacher right next to the image giving a sense of some intuitive sense of learning. So that's what this is about. So this is our interface, and we have a login system. We have a user system where we can generate user ID, password, and give access to our pro version of the app. Also, we have a demo app for people to just check it out from the Play Store. We can just download and check it out. So this is what we have done till now, and I think now would be a good time to take questions from you guys.
Yes, if anyone is having any questions, please feel free to ask now. So maybe Adil, I think I myself will ask the first question. Right. Apart from this tutor, what are your other products? Right. Especially we are interested in EdTech related projects, education related projects, or VR related projects. What are your other products?
So basically, our idea is that tutor is our home. So it is the home page, like it is the start of the hierarchy. So we are planning to branch into anything EdTech related and anything related to the latest technology from tutor. So basically, tutor is our main product as such. So we whatever we add, like we are planning to add textbooks, which interactive textbooks, which are we make a textbook and we use our app and we can bring things alive from the textbook. We can add that to tutor. So what this basically does is that this is the starting point. So this is our main product, and what we call this cycle of, or this what do you call a universe of products, we call it at Next Reality Classrooms, Next Reality Labs. So whatever the next way of immersion and next way of something that is not bound to a rectangular screen. We are combining them all into a brand called Next Reality Classrooms, and Tutor is our first step in it. So that's how it is. So if you ask us what our product is, this is our product, and what can we do about it? We'll branch whatever possibility which is related to Next Reality, which will branch out from Tutor and Next Reality Classrooms.
Yeah, fine. Thank you, Adil. So we have another question from Ashwin sir. Ashwin sir, if you want, you can unmute yourself and ask. That would be great, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, I saw the question. I'll answer it. So the question is, what technical tool are you using to design these 3D models? So we are all these models that we are designing it in-house. We have a team of developers right now. Right now, in this second, working on the latest content and the latest models. So we have people working. We have a 10 to 20 3D developers, 3D modelers working on. If you want to know what tool are you using, you're using Maya, Blender, whatever 3D software is, and we have all of them comfortable with their own softwares. And we have a pipeline. We have a wagon. So we'll be like, today we need like class 5 to 12. We need physics, biology, these and these contents, and we send that wagon. And all these developers, they sit together. They take each of the models and they develop in the 3D modeling software, and they push it to the development team, and that is headed by me. And instantly I push it to the front end, and we have deployed this to several schools right now. So all those schools, they just have to open the app, and all these apps, all these models would be instantaneously pushed to that side. So that's what we have done right now. So the tools we are using is Maya, Blender, and whatever the three mainstream 3D modeling software that is popular right now.
Okay, yeah, I had a few more doubts. Like, say, we have 3D augmented reality tools also, right? Sense 3D, Leap Motion, Mayo, Fin, all those things. So Sense 3D, for example, Sense 3D helps in just taking the picture of that particular person itself and printing it in 3D, or just getting the 3D picture. So, are you using any such tool?
No. We haven't used any such tool, because right now we wanted our content to be, because we have a few
In line
customers.
with, yeah, I understood that it should be in
Yeah,
line with the image, your screen. That I understood.
exactly.
But no, why that question was in computer science, in few subjects of computer science where we are teaching, so we require some other hardware tools also to make them visualize what they are doing.
Okay.
Either in embedded systems or in image processing or something.
Okay.
So if you have already done that, then I had few questions. If not, then it's good. It's okay. It's good.
Okay, so right now, just it's only because we are focusing on the school curriculum. But then the thing is that we have made this platform in a way that it is very expandable. It's like a jigsaw puzzle. So you say a feature that we want to add, it's very easy to add, because we are not building it individually for Android, iOS, and all. We are building it in a platform called Unity. So it's just build and run to all platforms. So right now, since we are focused till 12th, these things haven't come up, but then I'll assure you that these things are very easy to add. It's like a building block into our current ecosystem.
Yeah, fine. Thank
Okay.
you. And you are
Okay.
not touching virtual reality part also, right? Only augmented reality.
Only as of now, only augmented reality. But then I'll also let you know that our platform of Tutea started with a learning platform for virtual reality. But the thing is that virtual reality has a problem of customized hardware and expensive hardware, which is very hard to get into the hands of all the people. But then when it becomes cheaper, it'll be very easy to just click one button and push all this into VR also.
Yeah. Did you look into any tools like Oculus Rift or something?
Yeah. We currently have an in-house team. When we had a service team, we also had we have Oculus Quest. Oculus Quest is, I think, one of the booming popular platforms. It's like $299 right now. So it is very easy to build, because we are working in Unity. We recently did. I'll let you know that we recently did in a school, Panangad school in Thrissur. What we did is we created Kerala's first virtual reality lab. So for all those kids in that school, we put a lab, and we put Oculus Quest, Oculus Go, all these headsets, multiple headsets in the labs, and we pushed our software there. And now we can see that all of them are learning. Amal Jodi Engineering College, and also Panangad are using uh, our virtual reality labs and our software right now to learn at this moment.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks.
Okay. Any more questions? Please do ask.
Like any other questions?
No, actually, I have one more. Sorry for that.
Okay, if you have any doubts regarding like how it works or what possibilities or what could be
Yeah, I
uh,
had a direct question. So, how
okay.
you got the feedback? What is the impact of these things on the students? How much improvement is there in their outcome? I mean,
Okay.
academic learning time. How much they efficiently use the academic learning time? So, how
Okay.
you judge that, or how you whether you got a feedback from the teacher? I just wanted to know that.
Okay, thank you for that question. That's actually a very important question because just deploying it is not enough now. We have to know, like, especially when it is a new technology, how effective it is in the places that we have already sold. So the feedback that we're getting right now from all the schools that we sold is that we see a huge percentage of increase of interaction from the students. You know, where usually we see right now, in I say in perspective of the online classes right now, we see students switching off their camera and microphone and not paying much attention to the class. But from the video, we have these recordings of all these schools, and we have some campaigns which is running in YouTube. I'll happily share the links to see how the students are interacting. What we observed is that we see up to 500% increase. You know, it's like 5 times increase in how students are interacting to the classrooms, how they are responding to the new way of teaching, and how they are asking doubts, and how excited they are to see all these new models in the screen right next to the teacher, especially in lower classes and also in higher classes. And then the feedback from the teachers, as far as teachers are concerned, they are also saying that they are very excited. They're asking us, we need this topic, we need this model, we need this feature. Can you customize this model a little bit more? Can you make this scientific experiment? Can you add that also? So we see a lot of excitement, and we are right now in the procedure of adding exponential adding into our team so that we could build all those models according to our first few early testers and push it to them. So the feedback that we are getting is very nice, especially in the situation of COVID where it's all online classes. But you also have to imagine when all this COVID is over and we're coming back to the classrooms, imagine when we started off with smart classes, what that was. This is going to be 2 to 3 times of an innovative push. It is going to be much more covered and generating excitement and more learning input from teachers and students alike. So that's what the feedback we are getting right now.
Yeah, that's wonderful to hear. And a few more things are how much time does it took, or how much difficult was it to get it adjusted for the faculties or the teachers, primary school teachers, to use this tool? Whether it was they find it
Okay.
very easy.
Got it. So what we did is like our training is just very simple. It's like if you saw the demo, you must have understood that it's just click and play, and especially that some teachers are not tech savvy, so we have to train them. So it didn't take more than 1 week. It took very less than 1 week for them to get this implemented into our daily classes. And moreover, in all the schools we sold, we have a training faculty which goes there and we'll teach them. We have a training squad who will go there and teach them and how the app operates and what you need to click. And we have a helpline who they'll call us and give us suggestions and models that we need to add. So it's all an easy process. And as far as the technology is concerned, there's not much to learn. It's just like it's very intuitive. It's just open and click and play, that's all. So we didn't find any difficulty for teachers to learn it, and you will understand that better if you go to our YouTube channel and check out a few videos that we already posted, and I'll link that in the chat at the end of the session, so you can go and see how comfortable teachers are when they're using this app.
Yeah, that's wonderful. One more was in the while explaining. Once you said that even you can design your own and put it there, like something
Yeah.
like that you
Yeah.
mentioned. So even teachers have did they any teachers use that created their own?
Okay. So the thing is that we added that feature because of high demand from the teachers itself. So the teachers asked us, all this content is good, but I have a few content in my, because all teachers, they have their own personal content which they are proud of. So they asked us, can I add my own images? I have a folder full of PNG images and all this content. So they asked us, they want to add, and then we were able to remember the building block concept I told you. So we added that into the app very fast, and uh, we saw that the usage of custom content has increased by a lot, because now they have the method of personalizing this platform according to their knowledge and their collections of materials. So it's high usage.
So they were able to personalize because you are using Unity 3D or something.
Yeah.
You will give some base model to them. On that, they will customize. I mean, can you put more light on that? How
Okay, I'll put more like that.
customization things happen?
Yeah, as of now, we can add images. So that's simple as taking an image from the gallery and putting it into the AR screen and then floating the AR and then teaching next to it. But we are soon coming up with videos and PPTs and preferably 3D content in a specific format. So if you know, it's very easy to get 3D content from online. You can just search for your own any queries that you have. You can get a 3D model in a specific format. So in the future, we are coming up with a way with the images and these videos also to add these 3D models also, so that they can add their own models also. As of now, it's as easy as taking an image from the gallery and uploading it into our app. There's not much procedure included. So you can see it's a button in the home screen, click and upload. That's all.
Oh, okay, super. Thanks, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Okay.
I have one question, Adil. This is Ragesh from MCA department.
Okay.
Okay, I had gone through your portfolio. I had seen that augmented uh, election campaign which you done in the GEC.
Yes.
I just wanted to know how long that project has it was taken for you to develop it, and can you just tell which are the tools you have used for that?
Okay. I am happy to let you know.
Yes.
This app was done when I was in college. So this
Yes.
was, yeah, in college we had an election campaign, and then they wanted something innovative, and they also wanted a social message, because in our college when the election comes, people make these flex posters and they hang it everywhere, and it's a big amount of plastic waste. So we also wanted to innovate in the campaign, but also bring in an environmental message. So what we did is we put cloth posters, but the disadvantage of cloth posters is that you can't show graphics and photos very clearly in cloth posters. But cloth posters are eco-friendly. So what we did is we used this cloth poster and we used Unity software. And I was in my second year of college, and we used Unity plus a plugin called Vuforia, and we used these cloth posters as reference images. And anybody in the college using our app, they just have to point the app camera into these posters, and all the information about the candidates, all how they work and all the work they've done, and what the party stands for, whatever party that is promoting what they stand for, would be shown in the app like an AR overlay, like it's floating in the side mode. So that was our campaign. And, we made 10 days, 10 days was the deadline. We started 10 days before the election campaign. And it was a pretty successful campaign because we got a lot of media coverage, and we got a lot of attention from other, other campaigns who wanted us to do it for their own. But then we slowly came back to our product, so we didn't go forward with it, but we had an opportunity.
Okay. So, but how long it had taken for you to develop and implement it?
5 days to develop, 5 days to develop, 2 days to test. 3 days we ideated it with all our friends, people in the company, Thompson, me, and Sham. And then
Okay.
I took 5 days with, we had some interns working, some developers working. And totally we took, if you ask me what the development timeline is, it's just 5 days for us to make the whole thing.
Okay. Fine. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Any other questions? Yeah.
One more question from my end, from Ragesh.
Okay.
This CLAP AR brochure, do we need
Okay.
a separate hardware for that?
No, all you need is your phone. And
Okay.
the Clap Business School, what they wanted is to make their resumes a little bit more interactive, so for the others to understand. So what we did is, it's just a simple app in the Play Store. We published to the Play Store. You just have to take
Okay.
out any phone, whatever phone you have. Doesn't matter what hardware you have, even if it's an under 10K phone or above 50K phone. You just have to
Okay.
download the app. Whoever is recruiting, whoever is coming to check out the students, just point the phone to their brochures, which is in their own printed brochures, and all their resumes will come alive, and the students will stand on top of the brochures and talk about themselves and introduce themselves. So no
Okay.
specific.
The same concept which I use for the augmented this one, right?
Exactly.
Using Unity itself. Okay, fine.
Yes.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, Adil, like I have a question, right? So
Okay.
we have been discussing a lot of technicalities now, right?
Okay.
But apart from whatever technology you have discussed now, we all have noticed you are really passionate, right? You seem to feel like you conveyed as a, whatever you have done. It was actually what very very simple. Maybe we could what we could understand is because of your passion, right? And you
Yeah.
all also told, right? You joined this infusory company when you were in first year.
Yeah.
Right. So first year of engineering, we know like we all are teachers. We want our students to what be entrepreneurs, or we want them to contribute their society. All those things. That's what we need. Right.
Yeah.
But getting a first year student to get involved in a company or to be a part of a startup, right? We know
Yeah.
how difficult it is. So if I may ask, what was your motivation, right? What made you to join this company, or maybe was there any actually what motivation from your teacher side, or you were self motivated? If you can share that experience.
Yeah. I'm happy to hear that question. I'm glad to answer that. So when I was in school, in my 12th standard, so my parents, I was already I'm a very computer savvy person. So every time I get something electronics device or anything that is failed or something, I used to remove all the screws and open it up and uh, explore what is inside. And I was such a person who was like excited about anything mobiles or computers or anything. And my parents saw that and they understood that to get a good job in the industry, it'll be better to get into a tier 1 college. So I went for coaching. I wanted to get into IITs and all these big colleges and the tier 1 colleges. So that was my dream. So I was self-taught. I taught myself. And when I wrote the exam, we all know it's like sometimes it doesn't work for us. And I couldn't get into a tier 1 college. And at that time I was really sad. I got into a college called Government Engineering College Trishul. It's a tier 3 college, but it's a government college. So the expenses of studying there is very less, but still I was disappointed that I couldn't get into a tier 1 college and make my dreams of getting a good career in this industry come true. But then I didn't let myself be defeated. What I planned was whatever resources I'm getting from this college, and the benefit is that much money is not spent. I don't have to take an education loan or something, because I'm coming from a middle class family where we don't have much wealth, to spend on high fees. So I was happy that I have some resources in my hand and I need to do something about it. But I was coming from a really good school. Okay, my parents put me in a really good school in my city, so it almost felt like a downgrade for me in college. And I actually didn't get computer science. An amazing thing is that I'm working in a computer science field, but I'm actually engineering. I've done in production engineering, which has no relations to computers or electronics or anything. So it was such a. I took GEC because of the college and not for the course. And in the beginning, in the first 2 months, I was really disappointed. It was like nothing that I wanted worked fine. And what I did is, in the first month, I decided whatever I have in my college, I'm going to make use of it, and whatever outside of college, I'm going to run. I'm going to get it, and then I'm going to make the most of what I have, so that I could be on par with the people who have worked hard enough to get into a tier 1 college. So as of now, the college all situation doesn't matter because we are all learning from the home. But still, I wanted that campus and all those what comes with it. So what I did is, in the first 2 months, I looked around. It's not like I was aware of Unity then. I was not aware of any software. I didn't even have a computer background. All I had was the C++ I learned in 12th standard. That was all the computer knowledge I had. But then, thankfully, I was able to afford an internet connection and a laptop because of my marks in my 10th standard. So what I did is, I took internet, I took YouTube, and I decided I'm going to learn everything myself, because I found that everything is available online. You don't have to go to a classroom to learn all these things. So what I did is, I'm also another thing is that I'm also a drummer. I'm a musician also. I work in a band, so I do these gigs all the time. So I'm a performer. So I learned that also from YouTube. So the thing is that I understood that everything is available online, and the only limitation is my interest and what I do with my time. So in the second month, I found these two guys, Thompson and Sham. They were already taking sessions all around college, but then they weren't doing much project then. They were mainly focused on academics. So I found these guys and they wanted an intern. So I went in. I went in as an intern, as a product developer, and I gradually grew. I took a bigger roles and I took managerial roles. And by the end of third year, I was able to lead a team of 5 people who we employed. We gave employment in my third year. So I'm really proud. But still, I came behind in my academics in my college because of that. Because I couldn't. We had a 75% attendance requirement and I couldn't keep it. So that was all a big issue. But somehow I was able to manage the employment and taking care of all the employees who are working under us. And it was a gradual growth. It was not a sudden growth. There were a lot of sleepless nights and working hard, and there were a lot of challenges, doubts. Big thing is self-doubt. Every point we feel like, is this what I should do, or should I sit for placements like my peers? Most of my peers sat for placements and they are all having jobs right now. So sometimes we have the self-doubt. Should I have taken the job that usually Indian parents say settle down? But then I understood the feeling of happiness and gratitude that we get, to actually see our products in the hands of people, the things that we make, people using it actually in the hands of people using it, and the joy that we get. You make something and people actually using it. So I kept on going, and right now after finishing my college, we have our office in Thrissur. We have a lot of employees, and it's all going good right now. But still, we have a long way to go. But then this is, I feel like this is a good step, to finish off, to get all my dreams come true. So that's my story. I hope you got it. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful, really inspiring. Right. Now, if I may ask other audience, if you have any questions to Adil. So I believe, Adil, motivation, it should be intrinsic. Like no one else can actually push you from outside. Right.
Oh, yeah.
Being a teacher, if I want my students to be entrepreneurs, or if we push it from outside, you mean to say it has a limit, right?
Yeah.
If you are motivated intrinsically, that is actually what the best thing. And you also told some wonderful thing, like you could afford an internet connection and a laptop, and you opened YouTube, and you knew everything. The opportunity was available there. Only thing you wanted to dedicate was your time, right? So opportunity was there. Only one should realize it, right? Right. So that's actually what some really wonderful things actually what you have done, right? So, and maybe what was your faculty members' contribution as teachers, right? How did they help you, right? Teachers of Government College of Engineering, Thrissur, right? How did they help you? Did they try anything to motivate other students who are having the similar interest? If you can share that also.
Okay, so our faculty, the problem with this is that most faculties doesn't understand how significant small pushes from their side. So most of them don't understand, and we have to try as students to let them know why I am not coming to the class today and why I went below the 75% attendance. But it's very hard to convince them. It's very hard because for them, they have to fill out the form. They have to be correct. They can't give me extra attendance because it will be unfair on the other students. So most of the time, sometimes they would be relaxed in the criteria that they give, but still it was very hard for me to convince them to give me time so that I could learn all this what is taught in the class by myself. I just need time to go to the office and take care of the things. We were incubated in the same college, so I struggled a lot actually to convince them. So what I feel is that the teachers, when we have this notion that all this norm, settled life where the normal job and the placements are the goal that you get out of college. But I seriously believe that I came to the college to actually live in the campus. Instead of getting a 9 CGPA, my CGPA was very low. I'm a 7-pointer basically. So that all doesn't look good in the paper. But then you have, as a student, we have to take that initiative and let them know that even if I have 7 CGPA, I actually know how the production plant works. I actually know how the industrial engineering works beyond the textbook and beyond what they're teaching in the classroom. So I had to do a lot of convincing, and I am thankful to more to my parents, because they understood. They understood that I don't have to take a placement, because they can see my happiness when I'm doing all this. So my parents played a big role in what I'm doing right now. Now, right now, I came to Thrissur from my home to work at the office in between this COVID situation, and they were really supportive. So what I hope is all the teachers to understand how entrepreneurship can fulfill the student and also the people around the student, who they are employing. So that's what we need to do as teachers and as students, as parents.
Yeah, very very nice, wonderful, Adil. Right. So, any more questions from the audience side? Yeah, okay. Then, Adil, I have one more question actually. We are planning to frame a set of guidelines for our actually what incubate in policies for incubating startups in our college. Right, we are in the process of doing that. Right. So, if you can give us some suggestions which will motivate the students to what take up this
Okay.
opportunity. Right. So, if you can give us some suggestions, which you felt if it was there, right, it would have been better. If you can give us some suggestions, we'll be more than happy. Right.
Yeah. So I let you know what I know basically from my experiences in my own college, GC Thrissur. So we have an incubation cell in our college. So every year we have an incubation cell in charge. So what he does is he sends out mails, and he picks up all these students and lets them know that if you have an idea, if you have a really cool idea, come to us. Present it in front of the board. The some administrative board in the college who's taking care of the technical business incubator of the TBI, and we have a floor. We have 2 floors full of cubicles with computers provided, chairs provided, internet provided, and current provided. And we have a minimal nominal amount of rent, like some small amount of rent per month, not much, just to as a token. And then we have this committee, and students are encouraged to come and present their idea. How much of a simple or irrelevant the idea is, they are asked to come and present. And good ideas, if they are, what our faculty or that administrator does is they will allot these cubicles to these people, even if they're not registered startup, even if they're just a group of students who just want to do our final year projects, and they just want to bring it to the industry. What they do is they'll give the space, they'll give the internet, and tell them, you make this and you present this, and we'll guide you into all these competitions. And this sir, what he does, or this teacher, will show us all these competitions. We have these entrepreneurship summits and all. So he'll mail us, he'll let us know. We'll get periodic mails, and he'll let us know, go participate for this, go participate for that. And we participate for it. We take a product, and even if we are not proud of it, we take it and we go there, and we might get maybe 5th position or a 4th position, and the next time we might get a 2nd position, and finally we get 1st position, we get a cash prize. And they are all very motivating. So this cell as a community, it should be like a music club, for example, where people come together, brainstorm. And most entrepreneurs, what they find difficulty is that I want to be an entrepreneur, but I can't do this alone. Solo entrepreneurs are very lonely. Mostly you need co-founders with you. So they don't know where to find people who are like-minded, where to find people who would venture into such a risky thing with them. So such a community, what it does is that these students, they go there and they find other people who also want to be inventors and innovators, and they get acquainted, and they exchange numbers, and they meet every evening. And then finally this becomes like a club, and then maybe 3 of them gets together and forms a company like Infusory, and they register, and they can get where we are right now or beyond. So that's how the culture in our colleges. But then I'm not saying it is limited to this. We can go beyond this. And I think most colleges should do this, expand their community like a club, like an entrepreneurship club, where people can come and find co-founders and go for summits and submit their projects. So that's what my advice would be.
Great. Thank you, Adil. Yeah. Any more questions? If we have, please feel free to ask. yeah, Adil, I think that's it. We don't have much questions. Right. Thank you
Okay.
so much for sharing your experience. Right.
Okay.
Giving a demo of TutorHub. Right. So we do have our Dean MB Prakash Pinto sir with us. Sir, if you want to make some closing remarks, sir.
I don't have any questions as such, but I was impressed the way in which Mr. Rajal made his presentation. I am very new to this augmented reality and such other things, but then I think somewhere we may have to look into such things in the college. Is what I feel. Yes,
Yes, sir.
Anup.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Adil, once again, thank you so much for your time, right, and having a wonderful interaction with our team, right.
Yeah.
So, you have just shared something in this chat window. If you can let us know what actually all those things are.
Okay, so I posted some links. First, just ignore the second link. The first link is our YouTube channel, and the third link is our one of our videos where how we applied it in our school. It's like an ad video, but just see how the teachers are interacting and how the students are seeing. So just take a look at the video and take a look at our channel also to see any updates or anything. And you feel free to message me to. I'm always open in my LinkedIn. So I'll address any queries you have about any technology because I always enjoy doing this, and I'm so happy. I'm so thankful that you guys are all worthy to listen to my story and ask questions like that. So I'm grateful for that. And anything else you can just ping me and I'll happily answer it.
Yeah. Once again, thank you, Adil, and I thank all the team members who have joined today for the session. All right. So then that's pretty much it. I think we can end the session. All right. Thank you so much once again. Thank you, everyone.
Have a nice day.
Yeah. Have a nice day. Thank you.